In 1980, in Rendlesham Forest in Bentwaters, England, Sergeant Jim Pedersen and John Burroughs were assigned to go and investigate a supposed crashed aircraft in the forest. But when they got there, they realized it was no aircraft, but in fact a UFO. Jim had a notebook with him and was taking notes about the craft, its size, shape, that it had no landing gear, lights on it, felt warm to the touch, and also some symbols that were found on the craft. They were like etched glass, slightly raised up above the craft. So he took a note of these and drew them in his book, and then later people fleshed out the drawings to make them what they would actually look like, and not just a bunch of scribble that he was trying to do real quick. So this is an image of what the glyphs should have looked like. Jim described them as looking somewhat like hieroglyphics, or some kind of glyphs that he had never really seen before, but they were still fascinating enough that he had to write them down, assuming they meant something. Now in 1803, in Japan, there was the Itsuro Bune incident, where a craft was found floating in the water by Japanese fishermen. They pulled the craft onto shore, and what they found inside was a woman carrying a golden box that was glowing. This woman didn't look like any Japanese woman or any other foreigner they had ever seen. She had pink skin with red hair with white extension and huge eyes. But what was really fascinating was the inscriptions that were written on the craft, because this was a language that the Japanese had never seen before, never seen any kind of writing style similar to it. And many people had seen this craft with the fishermen and drew it and documented it, and documented the symbols that were on the craft. Now in Voronezh, Russia in 1989, these children saw this craft land with 3 aliens come out and have an insignia on their belt, and the same insignia on their craft, which was a white egg-shaped craft with a symbol on the side of it. Now the UMO case in Spain also had a egg-shaped craft with a symbol on it that looked exactly the same. Now in 1969, Lonnie Zamora saw a white egg-shaped craft with an insignia on the side of it in New Mexico that he chased down in his police car, and Dr. J. Allen Hynek even came to investigate, and that craft also had a symbol on it, which he made a note of. Also, the abduction of Antonio Villas-Boas in Brazil in the 1950s, where he describes aliens coming out from an egg-shaped craft, pulling him inside, and forcing him to have sex with a woman who made animal noises, which later caused him to vomit every time he had sex. He would think about it and was disgusted by it. Although being forced to have sex, I don't feel is that big of a deal. I mean, he did say that the woman was actually very gorgeous. The only thing weird about her was that she made strange animal noises, so I guess I'd be cool with that. But anyway, that craft also had symbols on it, which he had made a note of and recounted to doctors. So why does any of this matter? Well, because I found these same glyphs here on Earth in the deserts of Chile in South America. Now let's compare some of these symbols to the geoglyphs that I had found. So as you can see, these two vase-like shapes are similar. These like staff with the neck head off to the side are similar. This triangle with the 2 circles around it are similar. The pyramid with the 3 lines above it are similar. The UMO symbol from Russia and Spain is similar. Lonnie Zamora and his arrows with the lines over it and the boxes are similar. The circle with the cross above it is also found there. The circles with the circles inside of it is also found there. I mean, there's just so many similarities between these symbols that it's kind of hard to discount that they are connected somehow, and that maybe the ancients who drew those symbols found it that important to make these giant geoglyphs because they had happened to see these on the sides of crafts thousands of years ago. Tell me what you guys think. UFO proof